Good morning. Welcome back to week 4 of the UKHKA Blossom Crochet Along. Today we're going to be doing this beautiful cherry blossom square. Complements the others beautifully. So we've got the hyacinth from last week, the hawthorn from week 2, and the primrose from week 1. So as you can see, they're all complementing each other beautifully now, and it's all beginning to come together. So this one has some similarities to the other squares, but there is some differences as well. There's some new stitches in this one. So right, this week we're only going to need 4 colours. So we're going to need colours 4, 5, 1 and 6. So for anybody that is doing the Stylecraft Special Double Knit, that is tea green, lavender, spice and saffron. Round 1 starts with our tea green, colour number 4. And very, very similarly to the other weeks, we are going to do a chain 2. And then in that first chain that we created, we're going to do 8 double crochets. As I've mentioned before, you can do the center of your flower any way you like. So whether that is a magic ring or doing as the pattern states, it gives a very similar result. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. And then we're just going to slip stitch to the top of the first one to create round 1. Okay, so next you will need to grab for round 2 your colour number 5, which is lavender. Welcome back. As you can see, I'm trying to be a good girl and sew my ends in as I go. So you can join round 2 in any of the double crochets from the previous round. Now this is a couple of new stitches that you may not have done before, but we're going to do some 2 treble clusters and 3 treble clusters. But to begin this round, we're just going to join with a chain 3, which counts as your first stitch. So because that counts as your first stitch, into this first double crochet, we're going to do a 2 treble cluster. So to do that, yarn over as normal, insert your hook, pull through a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Now leave those 2 loops on your hook and then do a 3rd treble in there. So pull it up. So you now have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got 3 loops on our hook. So we've got our initial chain 3 and then 2 half finished treble crochets. We're now going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So that is a 2 treble cluster, but because we've got the chain 3, it's acting like a 3 treble cluster. We then need to chain 2 and we're going to do a 3 treble cluster into the next double crochet. So that's my first half. Then go into the second treble crochet. Again, only do half the stitch. And then the 3rd treble crochet. So again, we've got 4 loops on our hook. So we've got our loop that's joined to our chains and we have 3 half finished treble crochets. We're just going to yarn over and pull through all of those and then chain 2. So those are your treble clusters, 3 treble clusters. So beautiful little stitch, little variation on what we've been doing before. So each one is separated by a chain 2. So you need to do 6 more treble clusters and I'll meet you back at the start. Welcome back. As you can see, I've now completed my last 3 treble cluster. So I'm going to do chain 2 and then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first cluster. Okay. I'm just going to do chain 1 and cut off my yarn. Right, so that is round 2 complete. So you've got 3 treble clusters, each separated by a chain 2 space. I'm going to go straight into round 3. So round 3 is in colour 1, which if you use in the Starcraft Special Double Knit is Spice. I'm just using up my stash and mine is in Shrimp. So for round 3, you can join it into any chain 2 space. And we're going to join it with a chain 3, which counts as your first treble crochet. And then we're just going to do 4 more treble crochets into that same stitch. Right, so I've got a chain 3, which counts as our first treble, and 4 more trebles in there. Then we're going to just do a chain 1, and we're going to skip over the cluster and go straight into the next chain 2 space, and we're just going to do 5 trebles into that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, and chain 1. So as you can see in the first 2 chain spaces there, we've got 5 treble crochets, each one separated by a chain 1. So you're just going to do that 6 more times and I'll meet you back at the end. Welcome back. As you can see, I've just completed the last 5 trebles into the chain 2 space from the previous round. So I just need to do a chain 1 to create that chain 1 space and slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, which formed our first treble from the from round 3. Right, so that is round 3 complete. So we're now going to go straight into round 4, which you will need to go back to colour 5, which in my case is lavender. And we're going to join that to any of the chain 1 spaces from the previous round. So we're just going to join it with a chain 1. Now we're just going to do the next stitch, which may be a new stitch for you. It is a right treble front stitch. So what that means is we're going to go around this cluster from round 2. So we're going to be skipping over round 3, and these right treble fronts are going to be worked around each of the cluster stitches. So we're going to start the treble the same as normal, yarn over. We're just going to insert the hook to the right side of that treble from round 2 below it and out the left. We're then going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So they're both going to be coming out of the right side now. And we'll yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So this just makes it look like a continuation of this treble cluster from round 2 and gives it a beautiful frame. We're now going to do 5 treble crochets, double crochets, one in each of the next 5 stitches. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that takes us to our next chain space. So again, we're not going to be working in that chain space. We're going to do the treble around this next cluster. So yarn over, insert your hook to the right and come out the left, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So that creates a beautiful little frame. So what we're going to do is repeat that pattern. So we're just going to do 5 double crochets, one in each of the next 5 stitches, and then we're going to do a right front treble around each of these treble clusters from round 2. So if you complete that, I will meet you back at the end. Welcome back. As you can see, I've completed that pattern all the way around. Just done the last of the 5 double crochets into the top of the trebles of the previous round, and now I just need to slip stitch to the first right treble front of this round. So I'm just going to cut my yarn And that is row 4 complete. I think this is very, very pretty. It gives you a classic cherry blossom look to it. So we're going to go straight into round 5. So for round 5, you're going to need colour number 4 again. So for anybody that's doing the special double knit, it will be tea green. Mine's just, I've chose to do it in Lincoln green. So we're just going to join it with a chain 1 into the first double crochet of any of the groups of 5 double crochets from the previous round. So join it with a chain 1, and then we're just going to do a double crochet back into that same stitch. Okay, so we're now just going to do another double crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to chain 1, skip this center double crochet, and we're going to do double crochet into each of the next 2 double crochets. So you're going to chain 1, skip over the right treble front from the previous round, and do 2 treble crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's a really simple pattern on this one. So we're just going to do a double crochet into the first 2 stitches of any of the groups of 5 double crochets from the previous round, chain 1, skipping that stitch, and then 2 more double crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 1, skip over the right treble front from the previous round, and work that pattern the whole way around. So complete that and I will join you in a sec. Welcome back. As you can see, we're just about to complete round 5. So I've done my last double crochet. I'm just going to chain 1 to skip over the right treble front of the previous round, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet of this round. So that is round 5 complete, and I think these are really beautiful the way they're working up. Going straight into round 6. Round 6, you're going to need colour 6, which if you're using the Stylecraft Special Double Knit is saffron. Now it does say in the pattern you can join to any chain space, but it does need to be a chain space that is over a right treble front from the previous round. So I'm just going to choose this one here, and we're just going to join it with a chain 1. Now for any of you eager beavers that think that this is exactly the same as the other weeks from now on, slight difference on this week, which does make a beautiful little detail change. So instead of doing your first double crochet into that chain 1 space, we're actually going to do it into the right treble front of the row below. So exactly the same, you're just going to insert your hook, pull through. We're just going to pull it up slightly more so it's slightly taller than what you would normally do a double crochet, and then pull through. So as you can see, it's a slightly longer stitch. We're now going to find the next chain space and we're going to do a shell stitch as normal. So shell stitch comprising of 7 treble crochets. So please bear with while I'm just doing these. Nearly there, 6 and 7. Okay, so this is our next chain space here, which comes above the right treble front of the previous row. So we're going to skip that chain space and do our double crochet into the right treble front of the previous row. Put it up slightly, and yarn over and pull through. So as you can see, it just makes those stitches, our double crochets that separate our shell stitches, slightly taller and adds a lovely little detail to this round. Apart from that, it's exactly the same as previous rounds. So you're doing a double crochet but into the right treble front of round 4. Then you're going to do a shell stitch in the next chain 1 space, so you should end up with 8 shell stitches and 8 slightly taller double crochets. Do this round and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Right, as you can see, I've just done my last shell stitch of this round, and so I'm just going to slip stitch to the first double crochet of the round. and pull through. So that one is pretty similar, or pretty much the same as the previous 3 weeks, just with these elongated double crochets into the round 2 rows below. Going into round 7, we are going to rejoin with lavender. So lavender is our colour number 5. We can join to any of the double crochets of the previous round. So I'm just going to choose this one here. So from now on it is exactly the same. So we're just going to join with a chain 7 and a double crochet into that a double treble crochet, I should say. Right, so that initial chain 7 counts as your first double treble and a chain 3. Now remembering that all corner stitches, so all of the double trebles, are going to be done through both loops, and every other stitch of this round is going to go just through the back loops. So exactly the same as the previous weeks, but I will recap for anybody that's new joining us. So the next stitch is going to be a treble crochet. The next is a half treble. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets. 2 half trebles, 1 treble down into that double crochet of the previous round, and we're going to mirror that on the other side. So the first 2 are half trebles, followed by 3 doubles, 1 half treble, 1 treble, all of those stitches being in the back loop only, and a double treble through both loops into that double crochet. Then we're going to do a chain 3 and another double treble back into that double crochet. So that completes the second corner. So exactly the same as previous weeks. So that's our first side done. So you're just going to do exactly the same on those 3 sides, and I'll meet you back there. Welcome back. As you can see, I'm at the end of round 7. I've just done my last treble crochet into the back loop. So I'm just going to locate the 4th chain and slip stitch to that 4th chain to finish this round. Now going to slip stitch into the corner space, and we're going to do a chain 3. So this is exactly the same as what we've been doing for the previous 3 weeks. So another treble into that corner space, chain 3, 2 trebles into the same corner space, we're going to chain 1, skip that first stitch and do 1 treble in each of the next 2 stitches, chain 1, skip the next stitch and 2 trebles into each of the next 2 stitches, or sorry, 1 treble into each of the next 2 stitches, chain 1, and now we're going to do 1 treble in each of the next 3 stitches. So that takes you over the V, the center of this side. And then chain 1, skip the next stitch. We're going to do 2 trebles, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 1 treble in each of the next 2 stitches, chain 1, skip the last one, and we're back in a corner space, and each of our corner spaces is 2 trebles, chain 3 and another 2 trebles. Right, so that is the first side complete of round 8. So if you do the other 3 sides, and I will meet you back here. Right, so we're at the end of round 8. So I've just done my last chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, which was our first treble of this round. Straight into round 9, so chain 3, which counts as your first treble, and 1 treble into the next stitch. Into the corner we're going to do 2 trebles, chain 3, and 2 trebles back into that same corner. Then we're going to do a treble in each of the next 2 stitches, and then the next one is a chain space, so we're just going to do 1 treble into that 1 chain space, and then a treble in each of the next 2 stitches, and a treble into the chain space. So as you can see, we are literally just doing corners which comprise of 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles. We're then doing 1 treble into the top of any treble of the previous round and 1 treble into any chain 1 space. So if you follow this pattern the whole way around, you will end up with 25 trebles on each side, so 100 trebles in total, and 4 chain 3 spaces. So complete that and I'll join you back at the end. Right, so we are just about to complete the end of round 9, which is our final round of this square. So we're going to do the last treble into the chain 1 space, and we're going to slip stitch to the chain 3 started with to complete this round. Okay, just cut my yarn a sec. So that is week 4, so that is the cherry blossom square. Just going to show you with the others as well. They're all the same size or similar as I can get them, and as you can see, they all complement each other beautifully. It's a beautiful colour palette on this, and I'm really excited to do the rest of the blanket. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Any feedback is welcome on the videos, because obviously I'm very new to doing video tutorials. So please contact us if you think there's anything we can improve upon. Right, I will see you next week. Thank you very much.